Welcome to Better Than Yesterday. I'm Adam Churchman. I'm here with my boy Oliver Saunders.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for tuning in today. We got a great episode lined up for you today. Something that I care really, really deeply about, and I'm excited to chop it up with you. Just the idea of the importance of gratitude when trying to develop a positive life and improve yourself. So this sort of stemmed from a conversation I was having with my brother. My brother's a teacher, and he's got summer break. We were chatting, and he travels all over the world for his vacations.
Shout out to your brother.
Shout out, Matt. And he was telling me, he's like, "Yeah, I got a month left of holidays."
Yeah.
That's a lot of holidays.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And he was telling me how funny it is how quickly people can become accustomed to what once was such a great luxury, and it's now being like, oh, it's just normal. And how many of his peers and his colleagues are like, I only have 1 month left of vacation.
Right.
Instead of, I still have 1 month. Like, nobody I know gets that much vacation. It just started getting me thinking about the importance of gratitude. And how it plays a role in my life daily.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to chop it up with you and chat, because it is such a important part of not just becoming I think a better person, but also can level set you. It can keep you humble, and it can really I think empower you to move forward, because once you understand the role of gratitude, you can find it in all these minutes, and it really does make your life just peaceful and enjoyable. So what are some of the things in your life where you look back and you just say you are grateful for? Some of those pivotal moments that you're like, man, I came this far.
My kids, man. My kids, every day, that's made me tear up. Every day, my kids, man. My son, my daughter, they saved my life, you know what I mean? And I'm forever grateful for them, because it was something outside of myself that made me just want to take control of my life. You know what I mean? I remember when I found out that my son's mother was pregnant. I was in jail, and I gave her a call, and I'd been calling her back and forth, and we were talking, and she was telling me that she was sick and she wasn't feeling well and everything, and for the longest time, I didn't think that I was able to have kids, because I wasn't the safest. While, you know, when you're on drugs, you're not like, okay, where's my protection? You know what I mean? You're not thinking straight. So I'd been in a lot of situations where I was having sex, but I nobody was pregnant or anything like that. And so I remember when my son's mother told me, and it was like a light switch. I mean, I remember she told me she went to the doctor, and they said that she was pregnant. And I remember that day, it was just like everything that I had prayed for, everything that I had wanted, it just sort of changed. You know what I mean? I remember telling her, I was like, as soon as I get out, I was like, I'm going to buy a Greyhound ticket, me and my dog. My dog was my first kid. Shout out to Cash. And we took the Greyhound bus for 2 days up to Washington State. To be with her, so to make sure I didn't miss any doctor's appointments, and be there for her in every way that I needed to. And man, my kids, I'm so grateful for them. They keep my head on right. They make sure that I just feel like I have to be there for them. I have to make it home to them. I have to. So there was a lot of situations where, I used to sell a lot of dope and everything, and right before my son was born, I decided I would rather work and make less money, but be able to make it home to my son every day. You know what I mean? I was working at Goodwill 6 days a week, $9 an hour, loading trucks. And this goes back to gratitude, because I'm still grateful for that, because that time allowed me to make new connections and find new opportunities, and it led me to one thing and it led me to another thing. But just being grateful and also having faith that doing the right thing eventually would pan out for me. You know what I mean? A big one. Yeah, it would pan out for me. What is something that you're grateful for? Something that,
man, I'm a sucker for gratitude. Like, I have playlists that I listen to. I drive home, and I grew up in a steel city called Hamilton, just outside of Toronto. And now I live in Vancouver area, and so for me, I see the mountains, and I'm like, oh my God, it's not a smoke factory. Like, there's a lot of things for me that just trigger that holy, look how far you've come mindset. It helps living on the opposite side of the country because it's literally, look how far I've come.
That's hilarious.
Right?
That's, you can literally map it out. You're like, look, bro, like
How far have I
I
come?
started here, bro. Now I'm here. You feel me? Yeah, that's hilarious. That's literally, yeah, but figuratively too.
But figuratively too. And I say often to Eliza, like, you know, picking up and leaving my hometown was the best decision I've ever made. Now, granted, it all worked out, and I married Eliza. I moved west for Eliza. But I always say, even if it didn't work out with the relationship, it was still the best thing I've ever done because it pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I realized, like, if I can succeed doing that and leaving everything and everybody, and now the life that I have now, man, I'm so the friendships that I have, the people that I've met. It's a dream come true. So, you know, for me, I just sort of, the things that make me the most grateful are those times where I sit back and reflect and I say, like, whoa, how did this kid get here? Like, even, you know, sitting on the plane out today, I was just like, man, I'm flying to Las Vegas to hang out with my buddy and shoot a podcast.
Hell yeah, man. Like, hell yeah. It's going to be a successful podcast,
that's
too.
Right. It is. You know what I mean? And so, like, for me, that's a lot of how I find gratitude. I'm very reflective. And I catch myself in those moments of reflection.
And you know what? I think that's a great thing. And one of the things that we're talking about is sort of when you've come from a sticky situation, a tricky situation or anything, you have to also allow yourself the time to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
And even if it's small things or big things, because you're just building the habit of congratulating yourself. You're building the habit of, you know, and then also when you also come against something in the future that might be hard, that might be tough, you reflect back to the times that you were able to beat it. And you're like, hey, I've done it before.
Right.
Even though this might be scary, even though this might be hard, even though this might be, I've done it before and I can come out on the other side.
Your life is like your own resume. Your track record is your proof you can do it again.
Right. And so let me ask you this. So when you come, for being somebody who's very grateful, somebody who's very blessed, somebody who's very in touch with what's going on around them and the good energy and everything, how do you? I remember you were saying you were having car trouble, right?
Yeah.
Car trouble. How do you balance that out? Because negative things are going to happen. Anybody that thinks that negative things aren't going to happen because you have a little bit of money because of this, it's just different. You have different issues. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? So how do you?
Yeah, I mean,
stay in that space of gratitude.
So, you know, again, a little bit of it is reflection to think, hey, man, like there was one point in my life where if I had a car problem, like I'm screwed.
Right.
Like, I can't get to work. I can't, like I'm in a lot of trouble now.
Yes.
I don't have the money to fix this problem. And now I'm blessed and fortunate that I can. So part of it is perspective.
Right.
I think having a perspective of where you've been helps you understand that, okay, like I was saying, like your track record is your resume. You can do this. You will do this. But it's not easy, man. I'm going to tell you, and you referenced this car thing.
Yeah.
It's been something that has tried my patience. And I know, you know, you can think, oh, it's just a car problem. It's just, but it's this ongoing thing, and it's like money and sinking this in, and throws me out of my routines, and so you know,
you're not right. You go to the gym at a certain time, you pick up things at a certain time, absolutely,
and so it throws a lot of that off. And if I'm not careful, I think we all probably can really easily get sucked into that woe is me, my life, I can't catch a break,
into that like downward spiral.
Like, is life ever going to get any better? Right. And so I think that it's helpful to have people in your life that can snap you out of it and call you out on your bullshit, right? That can say, bro, like you've been whining about this thing for like it's time to change your mindset, right? It's like, you're right. I've been really negative about this, and you know, it's like everything's fine. Like you're still getting to work every day. Like we're gonna be okay.
And you know what? And it's funny because, like, you know, life happens.
Yeah.
Things happen. You know what I mean? Today I had a very busy schedule. We were running, doing one thing to another. And of course, it's 120 degrees in Vegas. And the one thing that my son forgets to bring to school is his water bottle. You know what I mean? And I'm like, in a very busy day, we're running around. We got the podcast coming. We got the gym, just life. And I'm like, yo, we live in the desert, bro. Like this is
the hottest day of the year.
This is something that you cannot forget. And it's funny because I feel like in a lot of situations when I was growing up, a lot of things that were made into big deals that would sort of throw me off or put into a downward spiral. I noticed that and I try to stop it. Right. You know what I mean? And so today, it was upsetting that he forgot his water bottle, but things happen. I forget things all the time. So I can't get upset at a 5-year-old forgetting his water bottle. So I just explained to him, I'm like, listen, bro, you know how hot it is out here. This is something that you can't forget. Right. So instead of, and the whole reason I brought this up is because past Oliver would have been mad about the bottle. So I would have sped home. I would have got a ticket. Right. I would have, you know what I mean? I would have, maybe I would have hit my rims or something. So now I know, not only dealing with being late, now I got this ticket. Right. Then I'm running later. So you know what I mean? It's like you said, that downward spiral. So sometimes I think that you do have to sort of catch yourself and be like, hey, you know what? Like one of my favorite sayings, life be life, and it happens to everybody. Yeah. But the way that you roll with it is the difference between.
Nailed it. Because like, once you're in that spiral too, you are like literally
digging a hole.
And you are creating more of what you're trying to get away from because you've allowed yourself to sink into this negativity, which, you know, if your gratitude is kicking and your positive flow is going, you know, you do look at the same scenario can happen, and you see it completely different. But as soon as you go into that, as soon as you forget to be grateful and you start to spiral into that, you literally build more on top of it, and then you are like, I can't catch a break. Because you are creating it.
It's like a tornado. You know what I mean? It's like you start this one thing. Started you spinning, right? It just started spinning. And then
you could have stopped it.
You could have stopped. You could have said, hey, you know what? Let me just stop. But if you don't, you start spinning more. Before you know, you're spinning faster. Right. You start hitting stuff. You're messing up more things than even started. Right. Easier said than done. 100%. Easier said than done. Totally. So how do you say to somebody, let's say somebody were to walk in right now and they're like, man, I'm having a shit day. Things have been going down. What would be the first thing that you would say to stop to help them or just give them your 2 cents?
Okay, so I don't love. Funny, I'm on a podcast. I don't love giving advice, but take my advice on this.
Exactly.
But I don't think I would. The one thing I would try to get them to do is to say, you know, stop. Tell me 5 things you're grateful for.
Boom. Yep.
Because as soon as it's so hard to not be grateful when you're now having to tell someone what you're grateful for.
For real.
I'm grateful that I woke up in a house that has air conditioning.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I was able to get groceries today.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I have someone who loves me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I have a job.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I can work out and go to the gym.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's just like off the top of my dome.
Right.
And everybody has 5 things. And I'm not trying to say that people don't have hard lives.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to say that like I've had it harder and I'm blessed.
Right.
I'm very blessed and some people are going through some really challenging things.
Absolutely.
And it can be really difficult to find gratitude when it does seem like life is just throwing you hardball after hardball after hardball.
Absolutely.
Get it. But still 5 things that you're grateful for.
Right.
I'm certain most people can come up with 5 things.
Absolutely. And you know what? And it's easier said than done. You know, as somebody who is down and in a very negative place, you know, you might say something to them like, you know, but at least you have the next day. You know what I mean? At least you have the next day. At least you have. There are people that don't have another day.
Right.
There are people that don't have any time to change what they did, change what they said to the person they love. There's people that don't. You know what I mean? So even if you can't think of 5 things, you woke up today and you can choose whether today is going to be a repeat of
Yep.
the things that you had before,
Yep.
or it's going to be something new. You know what I mean? It's something better. And it's not like you wake up one day and you're like, hey, you know what? From here on out, things are going to be good.
Never. It's never perfect.
Right.
It's never perfect.
Right. That's not how it works. But if you put in the work and you slowly, step by step, just try to take yourself out of little funks and stuff like that, I think that, and like you said, just remember to be grateful. Like you said, it's funny how, you could have not a lot of vacation time, and then you get a job where you're a teacher or something and you get a lot of vacation time, and then before you know it, after a couple years, you're like, man, you start looking at it differently, and that's normal.
Right.
And that's normal, but you got to sort of try to step back and say, hey, you know what? I'm very blessed to be in the situation that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it from here every day and just be grateful for what I have,
You said during our Instagram Live thing that we were talking, you mentioned like, one of the main things that you want everybody to remember is that there's hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I think I'd be remiss if we didn't connect hope and gratitude, because like you were just saying, like there are some people, literally the thing that they're going to be grateful for tomorrow is that they woke up.
Exactly.
Right?
And you know what? That's a step up. That's a step up on a lot of people, unfortunately.
Right. I listen, I'm always scrolling on my Instagram in the morning, finding things. And Steve Harvey he's that guy, man, his positivity. I love it.
Yeah.
And he says, if you woke up this morning, God's not done with you.
Right.
And so that's okay, I'm up and that's it. That's the only thing I'm grateful for today is that I'm up. Well then, okay.
And you know what? Take that and
step
run with it.
And one more step in front of the other. And tomorrow, maybe there's two things you're grateful for.
Exactly. You know what? And you got to start somewhere. And I think the message that we wanted to send to you guys is just be grateful, be humble, appreciate what you have, and you know what? In situations, it's not the end.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not the end. Like you said, if you wake up, you have another day. You have more time to get whatever done you need to get done. Say whoever you love to whoever you love, And so what would you say before we sign off is something that resonates with you that you would say just about gratitude, just about?
I would say as you start to practice it, and I really mean practice it because it doesn't always come easy.
Right.
It has to be intentional.
And genuine.
And genuine.
And
So especially at the very beginning, if gratitude isn't something that comes easy for you, it's going to take work. It's practice. But as you start to practice, one thing I will tell you, and I am certain of it more than anything, if you live a life with gratitude, nothing in your life can change, but everything in your life changes.
For sure.
And I think
I love that.
If we leave it with that, everything can change, even if none of your circumstances change, just because you have a mindset of gratitude.
Period. I love it. Thank you guys for coming and spending your time with us on Better Than Yesterday. Me and Adam Churchman. We got more episodes coming, more obstacles. Tap in with us. We're going to be doing live streams and everything. Thank you for supporting us. Better Than Yesterday.